Welcome people, I have been listening to Nir Eyal for quite a while now.
Nir Eyal, one of the world's leading experts in procrastination,
named the prophet of habit forming,
talking about how to keep focused, how to set the right goals.
He's an American author, lecturer, investor, renowned from his expertise in behavioral design and habit formation. And if you have not heard about his work before, let me tell you, he had wrote two amazing books, one named Hooked and other one is Indistractable. Here it is. See, yeah. And I have got some crazy insights from him. So let's dive deep into it. The Nir Eyal's wisdom. And I also wrote some crazy stuff from him. So let's begin. What are some ways to become indestructible? He gave us two to four perspectives. How can we figure out all this? Like, first is master your internal triggers, the urge that captures you. Make the time for traction, the work that you want to accomplish and important to you. Hack back your external triggers. All those external stuff like your Instagram, your emails, your friends calling you to out party for, etc. etc. Prevents and last one is prevent distractions with pacts. Remember, indestructible people use discomfort to tackle back and work on their dreams. Actions. Okay, when I feel bored, what's behavior that I can partake in? When you feel bored, instead of just scrolling random stuff on social media, what's the more useful stuff that you can do at that time instead of just wasting time on social media? Second, what did you get distracted from? Listen this quote. You cannot call something a distraction unless you know what it distracted you from. Use realistic and sensible time boxing techniques. Time boxing technique, when you put stuff on your calendar in the, time blocking technique. You already heard of this. If you have not, let me explain in a bit. Like, you use something digital calendar or your physical calendars to mark stuff what you will accomplish in the next upcoming hours, days, or whatever, to keep you on track. The only way to prevent regret is to decide in advance that how you wanna spend your time. And he makes a difference about distraction and traction. Most of people think that the opposite of distraction is focus. No, but it's not. Nir Eyal says that the opposite of distraction is traction. Like, let me explain. He also wrote something about this in this book. Like, he says, distraction actions that move us away from what we really want. And the traction is something actions that move us towards what we really want. Traction helps us to accomplish our goals and distraction leads us away from them. So let's continue. But we were here that the only way to prevent regret is to decide in advance that how you will spend your time. But how? Well, you do it based on your values. Now, what are these values? Values are defined as the attributes of a person you want to become. The ideal version of you, the who is all sorted all the time. Like, now the question is, how would the person you want to be spend his or their time? Like, be it their work, be it on your checking social media, emails, etc. Anything. Always decide in advance whatever you want to accomplish. Remember, you are the most important person in your world. So why don't you give yourself the same respect? And he also tells us to make a switch. Make a switch in what? Make a switch in the planning and organizing your stuff. Like, from using Todoist, I have been using Todoist for past, I think, 2 years. And it helps me. But I also use calendar. He suggests we should be more focused on calendar instead of just to-do list. To-do list are great stuff to empty your mind from lot of clutter and stuff to clear your mind. But calendar is the application that will help you to get on track. Like, he says, we should be generous with our money because we can always make more, but cheap with our time. I think you got it. The next thing comes is hack back your distractions. First, understand what is distracting you. Then think of ways to hack that. Like, suppose Instagram makes you distract. The steps you can take, like uninstall it from your phone, schedule the time to check, like depends on you, where fix a time in your day so you do not waste your day completing, oh, let me open it once to check if there is some message or some DM from someone. You fix that time in a day and only check that on that particular time if there is anything important to check out. So another thing to do is use the desktop version of Instagram or website instead of using your phone. But why? It increases friction. If you have read Atomic Habits, the James Clear told us about friction. If we increase the friction in whatever stuff, we eventually break that cycle out of getting distracted again and again. Better to use do not disturb mode most of the time, always on your phone. My phone is most of the time is on do not disturb mode. Like, see, it's always there. It's always there. Better put it away while you work. And it's all the best thing that you can do is put this stuff into another room while you are working, right? And another thing that you can do is always log out from the sites and log back in whenever you need. That's also an additional step in increasing that friction. Lastly, the fourth step that Nir Eyal told us to prevent distractions with pacts. Now, what are the pacts? Pacts when you want to make a pre-commitment in advance. Like, he also described this stuff into 4 steps. Like, first, knowing what to do when it feels like internal trigger. Master your internal trigger. Second, make time for traction. Third, hacking back external triggers. And fourth is preventing distractions with a pact by making a commitment. Make a commitment with whatever the thing that you want to do. Because, see, if you lose respect in your own eyes, how can you do or accomplish anything? I repeat that quote, you are the most important person in your world. And so why don't you give yourself the same respect? When you say, I am gonna do this stuff, then you should do to improve your self-image in your head. Now, let us deep dive more into it. Like, the biggest problem is that even when we know what to do, we do not do it. This is the problem that Nir Eyal faced after success of his first book, Hooked. Therefore, we need to figure out why are we not being able to focus on the things that are good for us. Checking emails, checking Slack, and might look like work, but in reality, they are still distractions, right? We often feel that getting work-related distractions are not distractions, but a form of productivity, but in reality, they are just like other bad distractions. Getting rid of technology will not fix your problem. Your core issues stem from intrinsic emotions, not from external triggers. There is a huge chance that even if you were keep your phone away, you will still get distracted because you are not dealing with the feelings that distract you. You are not recognizing the core emotions that are pulling you back. The first step towards becoming indistractable is to master your internal triggers. 90% of your time when we get distracted is a response from feelings like boredom, anxiety, loneliness, etc. Indistractable people, I repeat, indistractable people use their discomfort as a rocket fuel to fight distractions. Like, is the boredom or anxiety or fear of missing out? Then figure out how can you solve the internal triggers. And Nir Eyal says, if it's not on your calendar, it will get distracted. You cannot call something distraction unless you know what it distracted you from. So this was for today. Hope you like it. I will see you on some another day. Till then, peace out.